to my channel. So today I am going to be telling you all a story, I guess kind of sort of giving tips as well, as far as being a cyber sugar baby and how I became one. Noted, I am not currently one. I am not currently dealing with either one of these men who are my cyber sugar daddies. This happened in 2017, the majority of 2017, and then a little bit at the beginning of this year. And there are two men that I'm going to be telling you stories about and how things came about with them and kind of what happened as far as me being a cyber sugar baby. If you follow me on social media, you have probably, if you follow me for a while, you've probably seen some of the gifts that they've gotten me, some of the things that they've done for me. So yeah, I just came to kind of tell you all exactly what went down with that. We're gonna start with the first guy, and his story is that happened in 2017 and it happened in 2020. So we're gonna call him Larry. So basically I met Larry on Tinder. I was swiping through Tinder, and at that point I had given up hope as far as finding a relationship with the men in Atlanta because they are horrible people. But that's another topic I'll talk about. But I had given up hope, and so I decided I was so tired of people doing me wrong. I was so tired of people, you know, doing me dirty or whatever, that if I was gonna mess with anybody, it was strictly gonna be if they were benefiting me in some sort of way, i.e. their money. So when I made a new Tinder account, I basically put that I was looking for, I think I might have actually used the words sugar daddy, or I was looking to be spoiled. But you can't use that on Tinder. That's another video. I'll go into that. But so yeah, I was really just swiping with any older white man for the most part that looked like they had money. And so basically that's what I was doing. So I swiped on Larry and he just couldn't believe that I matched with him. And so from there he was like saying, oh, well, you know, if I buy you some shoes, can I take you out? So I was basically like, I don't necessarily need shoes right now, but I am going to Mexico, which that's where I went in 2017. So I was like, I do need some swimsuits and stuff for that. So before Larry had even met me, he probably spent $700 that week on my stuff. Now, noted, Larry lives in New Jersey and he was down here on business, and he had already been down here for a few weeks, and he was working that week, so we couldn't have met that week. And like I said, he had already given me, he bought me like $100 swimsuit. He bought my ticket to go to Miami because we were taking a cruise and the port was in Miami. He bought me little accessories as well as shoes for my trip and whatnot. Larry was he had a shoe fetish. He did not have a foot fetish. He had a shoe fetish. He liked seeing women in heels. That's his thing, and that's why he was so adamant on getting me shoes and things like that. Larry actually wanted to end up meeting up, and we agreed to go to Benihana. He let me pick, so I went to Benihana. Funny thing about us going to Benihana is that I saw someone that went to my college at the time, and I was like, oh my gosh, she sees me with this older white man, she's gonna know exactly what's going on. But she never really brought it up or anything, but I just knew she knew what was going on. Anyway, come to find out, you know, Larry was a really cool guy. He wasn't like a guy that like pressured me to do anything. He only thing he wanted from me, guys, was for me to wear heeled boots out to dinner, and that was it. And that was it. Like, there was no sexual anything involved when it came down to it. Then he wanted to go out one more time, so he wanted to go to the Vortex. Or I wanted to go to the Vortex. It was either or. I had never been to the Vortex. So that's a burger spot in Atlanta. So we went there. Again, he wanted me to wear heels. And that was it. Like, we talked, we ate burgers, and then he went back home to New Jersey. From from him going back home to New Jersey, he was still continuously sending me money. So he would send me $300 every now and then, $200, $100. He also sent me over a huge amount of shoes. And he didn't have my address. He had my school's postal address. So I could send packages to the package room. But yeah, he sent me a ton of shoes. And like I said, he was constantly kind of sending me money for things that I needed, which was great. So I don't remember. I can't even tell you right now what happened as to why we fell off the first time, but we fell off and we reconnected back probably a month or two later. And he got straight back at it. He got straight back at sending me money. He told me he was going to help me pay my credit cards down. And that was that. The only thing this guy ever asked for was pictures of me in shoes. I didn't even really have to have my face in the picture. It was just me in shoes. So that was just a plus for me. I didn't have to do anything, and it was nice. It was refreshing. So basically, the reason we stopped talking now I guess this is the second time, was because I think this was the first time I ever actually asked him for something. So I had asked him, I was going to Baltimore with my friends, and I had asked him if I could have some spending money out in Baltimore, and then he just didn't respond. So I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was wrong with him. And like I said, he just didn't respond. I kept trying to reach out to him, and he just never said anything. In my mind, I'm thinking because he's an older guy, mind you, he was probably in about his 50s, late 40s, early 50s. I thought, like I said, something had happened to him. Maybe he died. I don't know. So I was like trying to find his Facebook to see if like he died or whatever. And then I was like, well, I don't know if he's ignoring me. So I actually reached out to him from one of my text now numbers, and he responded. Well, I think I called him, and he answered the phone, and he didn't really say much and hung up. And I texted him, and I was like, okay, I was literally over here thinking you were dead, and you were just not answering the phone. And I'm just like, I don't understand. What's the issue? Like, what happened? And he was like, oh, I didn't answer the phone because I'm an asshole. And I'm like, oh, you're an asshole. So I was thinking you were dead, and you didn't answer the phone because you were an asshole. And at that point, all bets were off the table, guys. I insulted this man to the core. It was bad. All right. I told him to drink himself into a coma. He previously had a drinking problem. And it was bad. But mind you, guys, I was about 21 years old. And yeah, like at that point, that was it. Larry was done. So I will say Larry's calculation for the time that he had spent with me spent money on me for those times was probably close to $1,000. Fast forward to years later, now the beginning of 2020, I noticed that somebody with his exact name follows me on Instagram, and I didn't think much of it at first, but then I reached out to him and I was like, why are you following me? He was like, oh, I didn't think you would notice. And you know, like he had been trying to find a way to reconnect with me, you know, and all of that. And I'm like, okay, cool. And you know, he just started talking to me, asked me if I had if I still had his number. And so we started texting, and he was like, oh, do you still have the same PayPal account? I'm like, well, sure I do. And he sends me $300. And from there, it's quantities of, so everything starts getting back to normal. So it's quantities of $300, $400, $100, $200. Then he sends me money to go shopping for shoes. And in that span of time, he spent way more money, I feel like close to the 2000s on me than he did like those first like couple months of me meeting him. Yeah, he spent so much money on me. Then it was time for me to go to Costa Rica, and the money just kind of stopped. And I didn't really know what was going on, but it was like every time I would ask him for anything, it would be no. And or that, you know, he couldn't do it right now, or, oh, I'll do it this day, and didn't actually do it. And then so I had asked him for money for my rent, and then he told me that he wasn't able to. And I basically told him that I didn't think this was going to work out. And he was like, wow, so since I can't financially take care of you, then that's just it? It's just over? And I'm like, I didn't say anything. And you guys are probably like, oh my God, that's so mean. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. This is what it was. You know what I'm saying? If I don't know why, if in his head he ever thought that this was going to be a relationship or something. I am a 25-year-old woman, you know what I'm saying? And he's a older white man. It just wasn't gonna ever mesh, you know what I mean? It wasn't gonna ever happen. So it's like, if you aren't doing for me, why do you think I'm gonna keep you around? If you keep telling me no, what is your benefit of being in my life? Because this was not gonna turn into a marriage. We were not gonna date. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you were giving me buku amounts of money. So it just was what it was. And that is why I ended that type of relationship, because he told me no too many times. And I feel like that's kind of how it works in a cyber sugar baby relationship. I don't know if in the guy's head that, oh, they're not a sugar daddy, or what, I don't know what they think they are. But when it comes down to it, if our relationship is based off of money, that's how it's gonna be. If I need money and you didn't, I mean, I gave you 3 times, you didn't give it to me a 3rd time, what do you want me to do? So that was that. Now we get to the second one. So the second one did more for me than that guy did in total in 2 months. So this guy's name, we're gonna call him Tom. He reached out to me on Instagram. I actually ignored his DMs at first, which, guys, I'm not gonna say respond to everybody's DMs, but some people might be benefiting your life and you don't know it. But I basically I saw him on my Instagram live. He was just saying random stuff, you know, like the hey sexy and all that stuff, and yeah, I don't respond to that. And then he DM'd me and he told me that he was a European businessman and that he could take me all these places. And then I was like, ding ding ding, you're who I'm gonna respond to. Y'all, this all sounds so bad, but it's just like, if this type of lifestyle, that's basically what it is. And so I'm like, okay, cool. So come to find out, Tom is that what I said I was gonna call him? Tom is a Italian businessman, and he lives in Michigan. So he's actually real Italian, you know. I'm not saying that anybody's fake Italian, but he's actually from Italy. So he had the accent and all that stuff. And so we were just texting. Nothing actually started off as money. I think I was just more so that, like, okay, this was a man that I knew had money, because he told me that he owned a granite company. And he had it all over his page. So I was like, okay, yeah, he definitely has money. We're going to keep him around. We're going to talk to him or whatever. Around that time, I was raising money to get a MacBook to jumpstart my YouTube, which I would never do anything like that now. But at 21, 22, that's what I was doing. And he actually donated $100 to it. And I was like, oh my God, like, thank you so much and all that stuff. And then from there, we continued to talk on the phone and text. And then probably like a week later, he was like, oh, can I donate some more to it and all that stuff? And then I don't know how it even came about, but it came about to him sending me continuously $300 every week. And he was sending it to me through like Western Union, because he was an older man. So he was in his probably mid-50s. So he didn't really know how to work PayPal, Cash App, anything like that. So he basically basically, if he wasn't doing it through Western Union, he was letting me use all his stuff. So he let me use his credit card. He would take a picture of the front and the back of the credit card, and I would use it to order groceries, to order takeout. He actually at some point gave me his social security number when I was trying to sign up for Cash App for him, and I never used his social security number. I would never like use anybody's stuff like that, but he was just like really trusting of me, and even told me at some point he wanted to create a joint bank account, so I didn't even have to go through it. I just have the card and I just swipe it. So like I said, he started Western Union me $300 every week, and my roommate at the time was like, girl, like, see if he'll send you $500. I was like, oh, you don't think that's pushing it? She was like, no, like, just see if he'll do it. Like, it's no hurt in asking. So yeah, so then I asked him for $500, and then he started sending me $500. He also paid for, so me and my roommate, we were moving in together. So this was before we moved in. But when we were getting our fees together and all that stuff, and you know, the move-in fee, the deposit and all that stuff, he paid for all my half of it to get into the apartment. Then after that was said and done, probably a week or two of me moving in, I decided one morning that one day I wanted a dog, and I sent him a picture of a dog at this place called Petland, which was thousands of dollars, and he was like, well, see if you can find one cheaper, and you know, I'll get it for you. And he was like, if you go ahead and buy it, I'll, you know, give you the money back. And you know, most people say stuff like that and they don't actually. No, I bought my dog, my current dog, Aspen. I bought him, and he gave me the money back for him. He also paid my rent, which was $700 at the time. It was, you know, split in half. So he paid my rent. On top of, like I said, sending the $500 every week. And then one day I was like, you know, I still haven't raised enough money for my laptop. The laptop is only $900 because I was using a student discount. And I was like, well, can you get me the laptop? And he was like, I mean, yeah, like, I think I can work that out. And I'm like, okay, cool. And he was like, okay, you can order it tomorrow. So he sends me the front and back of another card, and I order it the next day, and now I have a MacBook. It also came with Beats, and I actually ended up selling that. But the very last thing he did for me before this all ended was he gave me $300 to spend at homecoming. So probably, I'm gonna say in total, he probably spent a cool, probably close to $3,000 on me in that span of like 2 months, two and a half months or so. It lasted basically the whole summer. Mind you guys, this is also a guy that did not ask anything from me. He did not ask me for sexy pictures. He was like an older man, so like all he wanted to do was, apparently he would tell me how he was raised was just to take care of a woman, and that's all he wanted to do. It was never talked about as far as, you know, anything sexual. Like, it just never took that turn. So yeah, it was just, like I said, it was nice. And even, you know, my family, like, I didn't have a job at the time, and they were like, how in the world is she getting all this money? And my brother ends up telling my mom that I'm getting money from men, and I was like, don't tell her that, because she's gonna think, you know, something's going on, when realistically, you know, of course my roommate witnessing it as well, it is just a man who likes spending his money on me. And apparently that's like a kind of a thing that Italian men do. I don't know about all Italian men, but yeah, apparently they take care of their woman, you know what I'm saying? And so he was interested in me, so that's why he spent, you know, the money he spent on me. But anyway, it stopped because apparently something happened with his granite company, where the building he was renting out of, they didn't pay sales tax, and they got him kicked out the building. And then so he had to completely restart his business over and could no longer send me money. He would constantly tell me to reach out to him this month, you know, things are going to go back to normal. And every time I would reach out, he would say, oh, I can't do it now. It just never went back to normal. He actually even started kind of ignoring me at one point. So like at this point, he's blocked. I don't feel like this will ever happen again, just because he just hasn't you know, he hasn't done like the same thing that he was doing before. But like I said, y'all, I was living, okay, because he sent me money, so much money a week, and my rent was only $700, and was paying the rent on top of that. I was just going to Home Goods every day, and I think that's how I found my deep love of Home Goods, because every single day I was going shopping. But I would say 2017, that is probably the reason why I didn't really have a job until after I stopped talking to him, was because, you know, the beginning of the year I was talking to Larry, at the end of the year I was talking to Tom, and yeah, like all my funds, everything was taken care of. And so yeah, so yes, that is how I became a cyber sugar baby twice. But it has not happened like that again from any separate people. That's because everybody wants something. Yeah, everybody wants something from it, and it's very hard to find the people that don't want anything. So when you come across that person, you gotta hold on for dear life, but you know, you can't control, you know, what's gonna happen with that situation, especially if you're not the one that's sending the money or anything. So yeah, some might say, oh, the reason why they didn't stay is because you didn't really do anything for them, but like, they didn't ask. I don't know, it was just nice. It was very nice to receive all the things that I received and not felt like I had to do anything. If you all watch my Dubai story time, you know how that went. He did all that stuff for me, and then he just automatically expected, oh, this is gonna happen, and that's not how it works with me. So it was, like I said, it was very nice. I will say that I've only ever experienced this type of cyber thing with older white men. Black men most of the time will want something in return. They won't even be going for sending you anything without getting something in return. So yeah, but thank you all for watching. If you all have any questions, like, feel free to comment them below. Yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed it. This was just my little take on my whole little cyber sugar baby lifestyle at one point that I had. Like I said, I don't have one right now, but if you're watching this and you want to be my cyber sugar daddy, let me know, okay? DM me on Instagram, Deanna.Nycole. Again, thank you all so much for watching. Bye.